Rocket and I are heading over to the farm. Dad just sent some pictures of the outer cattle shed at the main farm, and all that's left is the concrete slab. Well, at least the mess is contained into one big pile mostly. There was a little bit of debris along the highway, but for the most part the building stayed in one piece. The way the wind came in, it's no surprise that it picked it up and moved it. I'm just thankful that I didn't have the same result in the pole shed out of my place, because it's kind of the same exact setup. It's facing south, and I wonder what else damage there is out there. Looks like the pole shed down here got it too. Not too terrible. Missing some tin. The wind out here is still just insane. If I have anything to be thankful for, I mean, I'm grateful that it all stayed in one piece. I mean, there's very minimal cleanup that we have to do here. But if I had to choose between it taking that old barn and the addition, I would have chosen the old barn. They don't make them like they used to. It's really hard to find any shelter from the wind today. We're gonna be stringing the gates up. We're gonna go from there. These two gates are gonna have to be side by side. And we're gonna try to get it to go to this post here that's still standing. And then we should just be able to close that gate. This wind is unforgiving. We got all the small bits and pieces picked up, but for the most part, the majority of the shed is right where the wind dropped it. Seems like all of the buildings had a little bit of damage. Out at my place, the porch had one window blow out. In the last derecho, we had the attic roof blow out. And in this one, Travis had his attic roof window get blown out. So it's just funny coincidences, but it's very fortunate that it happened this time of year. We didn't have to deal with any downed crops or anything, because I'm more than sure that this one would have absolutely leveled all of them. The derecho that we had last time in 2020, I mean, I think the winds that we had last night were sustained for a lot longer than that one. It seemed like, I mean, you know, the wind definitely did blow all night long. And I actually don't think that the shed out here got blown over in that first storm that came through. It actually had like a second wind, no pun intended, come up and take everything even out of my place. We're still missing a couple things out there. We will recover. You know, it's not like we overbuilt something and can't make the payments on it. We will figure out what we're going to do. I mean, the concrete pad is there. One option that we could go down is, you know, rebuild as it was, or in my own personal opinion, maybe rebuild a shed that does have each side on it, that's not kitty cornered with that old barn, because I still feel like that might have been a contributor to why it took off like it did. The wind, you know, just came from the right direction, took it just right. I'll keep you guys updated and let you know what we end up doing with that pile. Things are slowing down here on the farm. It's unfortunate that, you know, something like this had to happen. It's just, there's always something, you know. I am sitting in the Deere skid steer. I'm gonna run this out to my place because I'm gonna bring the JCB back to the main farm here. And we got a couple things going on where I think the JCB would be better to have at the main farm. Most namely, first thing next week, Kuhn is coming back to pick up the baler and their mower. So they specifically asked for the JCB, so that kind of makes me feel nice and warm and fuzzy on the inside, because the JCB has the boom that reaches out, so you know, really better for lifting up the tongue on that mower and reaching over so that we can set the hitch on the deck of the semi when they come to pick it up. So that's the first reason I want it. And then also we might end up picking up some of the stuff from the collapsed barn out back with the JCB, because all the nails and stuff that are in it, it's probably going to be better to have the tracks over using a wheel loader. So I'll probably leave the JCB here for a couple days, and I need to change the oil in it as well, so you know, might as well bring it over here to the farm and bring all the oil back. I was just going to do it out of my place, but we've got the bulk oil drums here that I can get rid of all that excess old oil. So I'm going to head out to my place right now. Okay, let's go. Man, this thing really flies. Sweet home JCB. All right. There's quite a bit of mud up underneath here this time, but we got our oil plug. I'm gonna take that off, bring the oil pan over, set it underneath here, let it drain. While it's draining, I'll change the filters. We got this used oil tote here that we got a couple years ago, and it's pretty well full. Some guys use used oil to burn in their furnaces. Now we've got the engine oil changed in the JCB. Dad put the grapple bucket on it. We brought that up from Travis's place earlier this week. And now we're gonna try to rip some of the wood off the tin, because the plans with what we're gonna do with all this stuff is changing pretty constantly. So we're hoping that we can separate some of the wood from the tin and then haul the tin up to West End. Dad gave a call to our local dozer guy, and he suggested that with all the nails in this building, you know, we should consider digging a hole and pushing everything into it and lighting it on fire, and that'll burn up the wood, and then whatever is remaining in tin would be left underground. Well, the thought of tin being left underground to me just doesn't sit okay, so what we're trying to do is remove the tin as much as we can off the building, and then that we can take up to West End in a scrap heap, versus everything else we can push into a hole and burn. We're currently considering our options with what we're gonna do with where this was, and one of our options includes tearing down that old barn there, leveling that out, and then coming in, putting a building in from where the end of this one was over to where that one starts. Yesterday, Dad separated the tin from the wood and put them into separate piles. Well, this morning an excavator came in and dug a hole. So he pushed all the wood and nails and anything else that was part of that building that we don't want into the hole. And as you can see, we brought some stuff down from the machine shed to get a fire started. And now we're burning the wood that was left over from the building that had rolled over. So it's been an exciting few days. Once this burns down, we're gonna push in that pile over there, which is a lot of what they had scraped off the top from where all the nails would be. We're gonna push that in first. There's a giant rock in there that came from somewhere. And then we're gonna push in the subsoil over here. And then we're gonna push this on very top last. So then that way we have still of our topsoil, at least most of our topsoil here on the top. So looks like she's growing now. And yes, my anxiety is going through the roof because I am slightly worried about stuff coming off of it like that and going into those bales that you're looking at. But Travis is hooking up the trailer because he's gonna load those bales up, put them on the trailer and take them to sell. Hopefully he does it sooner than later because I'm seeing a lot of stuff coming off this fire. No, Ryan, go ahead. Throw some cardboard in there. It'll be fine. Anxiety is going up right now. This is probably going to smolder for the rest of the night. So once this cools off, we'll come through with that dirt, put it in the hole, and forget about it for the most part. I was getting a little worried about the fodder bales there for a little bit because the wind direction kept changing. But how far are you going to push the downed hay shed away from the bales before you just decide to dig the hole and burn it? That's about all for today. Dad got all the dirt pushed back into the hole. It's mounted up a little bit, but over time, the dirt will compact and it'll settle down. But boy, that's one way to bring up your compaction. What is that? We'll just have to wait and see with what we do with the pad that remains. But that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, all how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.